Here we go. Episode 152 of the Trash Talk Business Podcast. This is our opportunity every week to come together to grow, build our junk removal dreams. As always, I'm your host, Andy Weins, owner of Camo Crew Responsible Junk Removal right here in Butler, Wisconsin. And today I'm joined by one of my good friends, co-workers, buddies, Regis Grice. Regis, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you.
So Regis, for anybody that's come and visited our facility, Regis is down in our conference room, so you can tell by this sweet Camo Crew gear. Regis is one of our team members here, crew members. He's a crew chief. So Regis, what brings you here today? What brings you here on the podcast? What brings you to this company? Let's talk about you.
All righty. Well, what brings me here today is I had got an invite from the boss of bosses, and I just, as I learned, you can't just let opportunities go past your head. You know what I mean? Like, so I wanted to join, wanted to listen, see, learn, and I'm here.
So Regis has been with us coming up on a year now. He's a crew chief on the way to team leader. So I talked about this on the podcast last couple of weeks. I'm going to start interviewing more and more of our guys here at Camo Crew, what makes us great, how we build this business. So for us, everyone starts as a recycling specialist, then you're a driver, crew chief, and team leader. So Regis went through all those things. He started a year ago as a recycling specialist. We knew he was going to be a driver in short order because he had a good license and some previous experience. So what's it like starting here day one? What were some of the things that you noticed about our organization from other places you've worked or other life experience you had? What are some things that make us unique?
It really just on how it really impact the community, though. You know what I mean? Especially like dealing with like senior homes, dealing with like clients that lost loved ones, and they basically, like, the struggle of having to pack their family's belongings, plus like uh planned burial, funerals and stuff like that. Like it opened my eyes to a whole nother level of just junk removal, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we talk about it here all the time. Junk removal is what we do. That's a physical thing. What we really are doing here is creating peace of mind at Camo Crew.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to people's houses during high stress situations, as we know, when there's a death of a loved one, family member moving on to senior living, or even where it's more joyous. If family, a childhood home or a family home, as mom and dad are retiring, and now we're going through memories and years of material, and how do we lead with compassion and empathy, and also ultimately get the job done, right? We have a mission to complete, and how do we do that from a place of empathy and understanding, versus treating people's stuff like junk and focusing on only getting the job done. There's a way of doing things different.
Mm-hmm.
So Regis, you've been here for a year. What have you learned over the last year? What are some things that have stood out to you about this industry, this company? How have you grown as a person?
How I've grown as a person. Well, I've been a long journey, sir, a long journey. But really, just like this job humbled me more. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never I had a rough childhood, running in the streets and stuff like that. But overall, like, I ain't never I was getting in trouble when I was younger, but I never got in trouble when the judge sent me to boot camp or nothing like that. Like, but here, like, the structure. You know what I mean? It ain't the structure here. Like, this, I believe that this job is making man type stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like somewhere like also just like showing you like, man, it's stuff bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like helping older people move their stuff. You know what I mean? Like moving stuff, doing something for somebody that they can't do for themselves. Like, it really showed me. You know what I mean? Like this is me putting my 2 cents back into the world. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is me giving back to the world. You know what I mean? Like, so it's really like building me into a better man, father, son. You know what I mean? Friend. You know what I mean? Like, it's more than a job.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. I talk about this quite often on this program, this podcast. Is in our industry, we're in the very few industries that has the opportunity to go into people's houses, interact with their kids and their pets and their significant others, interact with their stuff, right? Versus a lot of jobs, you never see your end user. And if you do, you
Mhm.
always see them in your environment, right? You work retail or fast food or restaurant or whatever. You see them in your environment, not their environment, right?
Right.
Their home is our job site every day, and so that's one of the best things I love about our industry. Last week, I did a couple estimates, first two estimates of the year. It's been a minute since I've done an estimate, and I was reminded how good it feels to get in people's houses. Right, they're letting you into their homes,
Mhm.
um, and there's some level of vulnerability when people show you kind of their deep dark secrets within the house. We're currently working on a project right now. It's 42 trailers in a 3,000 square foot house, a kind of a hoarding situation. And in that project, like we're seeing kind of the worst of it, right? What
Right.
happens when you let a house go? What are some of the things? What are some of the jobs you've done the last year that's been memorable and why?
Uh, the number one, I ain't gonna. The number one, was show that like really, really just touched me though. Like on some like, and I done sat and I went and talked to my mom about it. You know what I mean? I think my mom's watching me too right now. Hey, mom. but, but it's really I had went to a like I said, I went to a nursing home to help a client move some stuff off of their parents, and they like she literally like got the crying. You know what I mean? Like just like got the crying, and it was like one of them like I don't know if it's the right word to say like surreal moment. You know what I mean? Like, but it was just like one of them moments. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, cause like my parents are still here. You feel what I'm saying? Like I ain't really had like no tight family loss like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like so it was just deep, but it was like overall like she was just so thankful for us going through it with her by just moving her stuff. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like she was just thankful, like for just us being there to just making the process way more easier. You know what I mean? I say that my first demo job.
What happened on first demo job? I don't know about this. What happened?
Man, that first demo job, I was working with my brother Dan. You know what I mean? Shout out Dan. I was working with my brother Dan, man, and he broke me in. You know what I mean? He taught me some things about you know what I mean, moving the busting the porch down. You know what I mean? Like I said, with this job though, like I done learn how to use tools that I ain't never used before. You know what I mean? I done learn how to dismantle stuff. You know what I mean? Like just a lot. It's just a lot. You feel what I'm saying? Like I came fat and now I'm voluptuous right now, you know?
Yeah, we try to get the husky, whatever, right the next level.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So put it in perspective. Last year we had gone through a lot of guys. Remember that April and May we were throwing bodies at problems. We were really struggling. Um, we were really struggling organizationally finding the right people, and our onboarding process was crap. And so what is it? You've seen a lot of guys come and go the last year, especially in the
Mhm.
first couple months and last summer. Why is it you've been successful here?
I'm tell you the truth because I like the job. Like I said, it's more than a paycheck. You feel what I'm saying? Like, like you can't any job, whether you're a trucker or whether you're a teacher, you know what I mean? Like, especially a teacher with the salary they get paid and stuff like that nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta love your job, man. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta love your job more than a paycheck. You gotta find
Mhm.
that you gotta, you know what I mean? Like, it gotta be one of your happy places in life type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta find some type of joy out of it. You can't just, you know what I mean? And that's what it is with me, though. You know what I mean? Like, I got a brother. Like, I swear, like, he won't move. He won't lift a finger. You're like, I don't move nothing. I don't move nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and it'd be like, I don't like the stuff that we be moving, hot tubs, pianos, anything that need to get removed. Like, I'd be like, ah, it ain't no, you know what I mean? Like it ain't no issue. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's just because the bigger purpose is I'm doing this for somebody that can't do it for themselves. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Or I'm doing it for somebody. You feel what I'm saying? Like that
Yep.
might have arthritis or just might have different health issues. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm capable of doing it. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
so. That's my draw though, you know what I mean? I try to be here as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like I can be done with my shit and I'm ready for them to throw more assignments at me. You feel what I'm saying? Like just to get the task done, get it done. You know what I mean? Like another thing that I feel good to just know that I got responsibilities, you feel what I'm saying? Or know that people depend on me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? To come through with what you get what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
that pushed me. That's my power.
Well, yeah, that we give people an opportunity here. We never look at really previous experience or education or anything. It's who shows up every day. And you've worked yourself up, right? You went from being a guy in the trucks to a driver to a leader among the guys to then being, legitimate leader by being a crew chief. What is it that's driving you? Why do you take on more responsibility than others? We talk about it, Camo Crew, right? One of our ways to succeed is by taking initiative. So where's that coming from when it with you, Regis? What's that motivation to take that initiative?
That motivation is my kids, man. I mean, like my kids, like just like I said, my background and just all the bad decisions that I made when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like I'm just really like trying to just stand in front of my kids and just show them that you can change. You know what I mean? Like no matter what decision you make, don't let nobody or don't let yourself hold it over your head. Like you just go hard at it. If you believe in yourself, then you're gonna make other people believe in you too. You feel what I'm saying? Like so I
Mhm.
just really just my kids just trying to show them something different. You know what I mean? Show them that their father went through it all, and yet he still, you know what I mean, go to work every day. You feel what I'm saying? Like just really my kids, and my kids.
You said your kid's about 13 times right there. Here's an oddball question. What is it? What is it you want to know from me? I mean, I see you almost every day, some point. What haven't you and I talked about? Or what is it you want to learn from me?
I'll tell you, sure, I want to learn how just like basically like for sure, like how like how you started your company. It's 700 square feet, I believe you said,
Yep.
sir.
700
You
square
know what I
foot
mean?
garage. Yep.
And then now it's this. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
I can see like I listen to a lot of stuff that you say. So you feel what I'm saying? And I can just just look at you like, man, I could this is not this didn't come easy. This wasn't
Mhm.
given. You feel what I'm saying? Like this was 100% blood, sweat, and tears worked hard for. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and when I do be looking at you, I just be thinking I'm like, man, you a person that fought in the field for the United States of America, and you fighting like in the backyard. Though, you get what I'm saying? Like, as far as we just like keep yourself out the minefield. As far as just sorry, just like. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff that we move out of people's cribs, going to other people's houses, the partnerships that
Mhm.
you have. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot to the point where you're just like, I ain't really not like I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really like met nobody like you before. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like also like far as with just like like this was like someone like my first job or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but just as in somewhat just like how to get like just you know what I mean? Like just somewhat like just like build on my dreams that I have a little bit, or just like more of an ideal, just more just like you know what I mean? Just more of an insight on just like how did you get what I'm saying? Like how did like because I know it wasn't just all I'm sure it was like some type of resistance in between you starting you feel what I'm saying? Like whether it was loans or whether it was whatever, you feel what I'm saying? Just before it got to this, before you got to the top of the mountain, or before you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
tell me about some of
It's
those.
it's that visualization, right? It's like I visualize this company, right? And then the execution. And it starts with the visualization. And then, like you're talking about along the path, right? That mountaintop, there's hurdles. There's crevices you don't know nothing about. And then it's that, and also bigger thing is the self-limiting beliefs. You know, back when we first started 9 years ago, I had nothing to lose. I'm like, well, if this don't work out, I'll go just get a job. Right. And again, it's like that, but we had that more that burn the boats mentality, which was right when we landed on the shore, we're burning the boats. We're not going back. And so I had nothing to lose. So it's like, well, let's bet it all. Right. What's the worst
Right.
case? The worst case is I have to get a job. Like that's it. And it's like, all right, cool. And there's been times where it's been close. And yet in 9 years, I haven't had to get a job. Right. I've never been that bad because the alternative of getting a job sounds terrible. So every other choice is better than getting a job. And that's that want. And then to your point about that, I visualized the company and I had an idea what it could look like. Everything down to the camo pants. Like, man, I got so excited when those new beanies, the new beanie you're wearing, when those came in last year. I'm like, man, that's dope. Right? We got beanies, we got ball caps, we got t-shirts, sweatshirts, coats. Everyone's looking uniform. It's like it wasn't like that day one. So it
Right.
comes down to constant visualization. Even like we got that new guy, Mike, right? Mike was wearing that not Camo Crew coat. right? So I got this visualization what right looks like. I finally was like, why is he not wearing a Camo Crew coat? Right? I was pissed because it's like, no, that's not what I visualized. So what that comes down to is I visualized it, and everything that fit the visualization, we're going to double down on, and things that did not fit the visualization, we're going to nip that in the bud right away. And that's the same reason why with people, when we got people here, especially the guys in the field, we figure out pretty quick, fast, and hurry whether or not they're a good fit for our organization, because we got our 4 values: hunger, dependability, camaraderie, esprit de corps. Everything we look at, all of our employees, all of our vendors, everyone we talk about has to fit those 4 values. I mean, look at you. I was talking about taking initiative. You're asking, you're saying it, you said it yourself, right? You're always looking for that next assignment and that next project. What's next, right? That is hunger to the T, right? It's like, hey, when you're hungry, a lot of the other shit happens and falls in line, no problems. And so for me, right, I was always hungry. I always wanted more. I want to build a bigger business. I wasn't satisfied at 2 trucks or 4 trucks, you know? It's man, my favorite motivational speaker of all time is Les Brown. There's a clip from him from Atlanta, Georgia, back in there's a clip at 6 minutes 36 seconds, Goldcast, from a bigger keynote he did years ago, and he talked about got to stay hungry, right? You got to be hungry. That's what he keeps saying. Got to be hungry, and like that's my fuel, because I know there's always more and there's always better. That's the reason why I do the podcast. Because it's like, okay, we can impact whatever, 20 people here, 25 employees. We can impact about 2,500 customers a year, projects. How much more can I impact people by giving them the answers to the test with this weekly podcast? How many other people can I inspire to get into, small business ownership? How many people can I teach about recycling? How many people can I motivate, right, to take on that next challenge that they might be fearful of? And because I've done it, right? I know what it's like to risk it all. Hell, we went from a 700 square foot garage to 27,000 square foot warehouse. And we're like, all right, dope. And then the real work began. And that transition from building to building is a metaphor. We went from my brother and I banging out jobs out of the backyard to, our next truck is being delivered this week. So it's our 15th truck we're going to have. So we're going to have 15 trucks out there in the yard, 11 of them being service vehicles. Like, okay, started with one purple van. Now we got our, however many trucks I bought through the years and, got rid of or whatever. But now we're going to have 4 big box trucks, plus our dump trucks, plus our pickup trucks, so it's like constantly visualizing what next looks like. And then when I see it come to fruition, we're like, oh yeah, that's it. And other times we're like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. We took a chance, missed the mark. And so that's that constant visualization and then execution. And you've been here. There's plenty of people we took chances on that did not work out. Right? There's jobs we went to with our eyes wide open and then did not turn out that way. Actually, let's talk about that job you had a couple weeks ago. You already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, man.
What happened, Regis? Regis, what happened? Let's talk about that. You had a 2-trailer job, right? 2 trailers?
Yeah, 2 trailers.
Supposed to be about a 4-hour job.
It was an all-day job because, for one, we got a great team here. It was just overall, I was overconfident that day, I think. I don't know, but overall, we got a good supervisor, Casey. He told me how many buckets to take, and I ended up taking half of them buckets, thinking that was all I was gonna need. You know what I mean? And then I didn't want to somewhat like I tried to.
Wrong.
Yeah, I didn't want to admit I was wrong, so I tried to weather the storm.
Yeah. So what happened? So what happened was we had a 2-trailer job. It was basically all smalls, a lot of donatable material, and so we put things in buckets and we bring them back to the warehouse here. We sort the material there. We donate it right from there. So the note said bring 60 buckets. You said you brought half, but I'd say you probably brought about a third. You brought about 20 buckets, probably closer to 20 than 30.
Yeah.
And then about halfway through the day, you were behind because you ran out of buckets to fill things in. And then you're taking up things basically handfuls at a time instead of buckets at a time. And you thought you could outwork the problem.
Yeah. That was That was that was my most that was a shame. That was a walk of shame right there for me, man. That
And
was a walk of shame.
but right, and like you said from the beginning, this job has humbled you, right? Because that was one of your as a crew chief, we've been building you up. We're like, all right, you got this job, and then yeah, and you know what? And I'm glad we could joke about it now because I was pissed that day. You were pissed. Everyone was pissed, and it's like, well, lesson learned, right? And that's the thing. As business owners, every time we hire somebody, we take a chance. Every time we put somebody in the field, we're taking another risk, and it's like I could have told you everything, put it all in the notes, and at the end of the day, it's on you whether you choose to succeed or you choose to fail.
Right.
You know, that individual accountability and responsibility. So I appreciate that by you saying, "Yep, it wasn't that the job was bad, or it was hey, you chose not to follow the program, right? Because we have processes in place, and when you follow the process, life is a lot simpler.
Mhm.
And the other thing is, we're constantly updating the processes. When there's a better way of doing something, I'm all ears. I'm all about it. So let's talk about that. What have you seen? How have you impacted this company the last year? Whether it's processes or people, motivation, what have you done to allow us to be more successful?
Really, the number one thing I think before y'all even gave me this title, is really start speaking up more. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like start speaking up more. Basically like starting encouraging the guys more. You know what I mean? Like just like be motivating them more. You feel what I'm saying? Like just like and just also too just like reminding them. Reminding it can be small stuff like everybody fill up before we turn in the trucks, or when it's raining, when it's snowing, everybody drive safe. You know what I mean? Like give people space. Just you know what I mean? Just or even patting each other on the back. We just really just speaking up more, speaking up more. You get what I'm saying? Like before y'all even gave me that leadership, y'all someone like told me what y'all needed of me. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And I stepped into it though.
Well, that's what it comes down to. A lot of people, especially in they talk about how it's hard to find good help and hard to find good employees, and it comes down to creating a culture in your organization, and then also telling people exactly what you want from them. Right?
Uh,
Like you got a big voice. People listen to you. You're a little bit older than some of the new guys, obviously, and you're like you said, voluptuous, right? You're a big person. You know what I'm saying? Like you're 6'2". When you speak, people listen, right? And so, hey, how do we use that for good? And so you're also right. One of the challenges a lot of people have in our society is they think they need to have a title in order to step up. It's like, no, step up and the title comes after work. The
right.
reward comes after the work. The only place where the reward comes before work is in the dictionary. It's one of my
Right.
favorite sayings, right? We saw you had a big voice. We saw you had potential. We told you to start speaking up, standing up, showing guys what's right looks like. And then the title and the reward and all that stuff and more responsibility and more money and more comes
Mhm.
after the fact. I remember in fall, you kept bugging me, man. How do I make more money? I'm like, speak up more. That was it, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
start doing more. It's real simple for anybody, right? Whether you own the company or it's your first day. The more value you bring, the more money you can charge because you're more
Right.
valuable. It's that simple. And same with you. It's like you learn how to drive every piece of equipment. Cool. You learn how to drive the forklift. All right. Well, what's next? All right. Learning how to run jobs, be a crew chief. All right. Well, then because when you're more valuable, when you can do more for the company, you make the company more money. I can pay you more. And that's
Mhm.
a choice. The challenge is a lot of people either they want to get paid more without putting the work in, or they wait until they have the title before they put the work in. And it's like,
Right.
no, you got to do the work. So then by the time you get the title, you're already going to the next job. Where, like I
Mhm.
said, you're a crew chief on your path to being a team leader, right? And so now it's like start doing the work to be a team leader so that you can earn, you earn that title. So for us, the difference between a crew chief and a team leader, crew chiefs can run basically a 2 truck operation. We run trucks in tandem. So you got a box truck and a dump truck. Typically, the crew chief is running the box truck. The dump truck is running in tandem. So the crew chief is in charge of that employee and maybe a third or fourth employee between those 2 trucks. Once you become a team leader, there's 3 things you do in addition to that. You run the bigger jobs. So when we have a 3 truck plus operation, like we're doing this 42 trailer job right now, if we send like 3 or 4 trucks there the person that's overall in charge, that's typically going to be the team leader or most senior crew chief on their way to team leader. The other thing they do is they can do estimates. And then the third thing they can do is be one of our trainers. So they can train other crew chiefs. So you've already taken it upon yourself to kind of be in the trainer. You said it earlier that you take some of the new guys under your wing, you show them the right way of doing things. So that's what you're accomplishing, getting closer to being a team leader by taking on those responsibilities of training up the next group of guys and calling, teaching them what to do and calling them out. And I've seen you do that. So what are some of the challenges you're seeing? We got some newer guys coming in. What are some of the things that you're being challenged as a crew chief now and as a trainer? What are some of the gaps that they have versus how we like to do things around here?
I just worry about just like as far as with just like let's just say speed. You know what I mean? Like like speed, because like sometimes like the number one thing is like I just want to make sure that we always take care of our clients' property. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Floors, walls, you know what I mean? Like, and if like furniture, all that stuff is if it's in good condition, I want to make sure that the next family can get it and utilize. You feel what I'm saying? And
Yep.
like sometimes like a speed can yeah, we can get the job done quicker, but we might not can get it done safer. So
Mm-hmm.
I be like, I just, and I hope that some of the guys even see this. You know what I mean? Like, just we're gonna make the time. You know what I mean? But we just try to slow it down just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like I think we got a good set. I think we got a good set of new guys that came in here, like Will, Anthony, you know what I mean, Mike. Like just today, I was training Mike how to collect payments and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like just getting, because I just see I you know what I mean, like I call him Speedy too. like but I do see, you know what I mean, like that he do like his job though. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
and so I just got to just, you know what I mean, like I ain't got to say so on when, you know what I mean, y'all will find them qualified to take on that role. You know what I mean? Like, but just me, just being a leader, I just want to just try to prepare them. You know what I mean? Like, so like, hey, whenever, you know what I mean, the bosses give people like give you the green light to start doing this. I want you to be like, hey, I already been having my eyes open and I already been talking to Mr. Grice about it, and you know what I mean. I think I got an idea on it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
just
yeah.
try to get.
Well, yeah, teach them. Yeah, I mean, you're teaching them. Our goal is after 6 weeks of our training program, you know what a crew chief does. So by you teaching them, hey, this is how we collect payments, the expectation isn't that they know how to collect payments, it's that they have an idea. So
Right.
then when they're qualified to start training up to be a crew chief, that is not the first time they're seeing it. The
Mhm.
other thing I like what you said is you said speed. And I was really interested to hear where you were going with that, right? Because we know slow is smooth, smooth is fast, fast is good. And when you got guys that are trying to outwork the situation and go fast right off the bat before they learn the mechanics of it, that's when floors and walls get damaged. And that's when you know that we're a professional organization. So we don't want hacks coming in there and messing things up. Again, I'd rather have a guy that's really fast that I can dial down than a guy
Right.
that's slow that I gotta motivate up.
Mhm.
So for you, when you got new guys, right? What are some of the techniques that you're using in the field to motivate them
The number
as
one, the
as
number one. I'm sorry, sir.
yeah.
I apologize for interrupting. But
No, no, go, go.
the number one technique that I just really basically like, cause I be lifting stuff, man. I like to, and you remember when I first started working here too. I ain't like to ask for help. I just get the lifting, get
Yeah.
the lifting stuff. But the number one technique that I always tell these guys, is basically like when it's 2 men stuff to carry, try to grab it from the same place to balance the weight. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like if me and you carrying the refrigerator, you know what I mean? Like if we both carrying it from the bottom, it balanced the weight. I'm not
Yep.
gonna have more weight than you're gonna have, and it's gonna be easier to maneuver it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Compared to I'm holding the bottom and then you holding the one bottom and one half, and you
Yep.
get what I'm saying? Like I really try to cause you know how it be like when you be working here, you be like, I can lift something with JT, I can lift stuff with Ron, but I ain't lifting them with or I ain't lifting them, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
and it just somewhere like be to where like you just gotta somewhere like get them on your page with it. You know what I mean? Like, bro, this is why you got to do it like this because it balanced the way. I ain't gonna have
Yeah.
more
You
than
got
you. You ain't gonna
talk.
have more than me.
Well, yeah. What is a two-man lift is about talking through the whole situation. I mean, my brother and I have been on hundreds of jobs together. When my brother and I lift things, we talk it through the whole way. All right, you got that corner, I got this corner. All right, we're going to lift it, we're going to twist it, we're going to do this. Or like you mentioned, JT and Rome. Rome's been here almost 8 years. JT and you started together, so you guys done tons of jobs together. Biggest thing there for me on 2-man lifts is talking through it. The challenge when you go from owner operator and you got one employee, like you're used to talking through because you're like figuring out as you go. And then all of a sudden that crew chief team leader isn't talking things through with the new employees. And a lot of new employees, like you said, when you started, there's a lot of tools you never used. Maybe you never used proper lifting techniques. And that's how people get hurt. And that's how property gets damaged. I like how you also highlighted, what's very important to us, that the material we pull out of people's houses, the furniture, that we don't damage it because we know we're going to try to donate that. We're going to get that to the next best house. And that all comes down to proper lifting techniques and talking things through. We're old school here. We don't really use lifting straps or things like that. It's not our jam. So it comes down to, wearing gloves, obviously, so you get a better grip, and then carrying things in a safe and efficient manner. I appreciate that. Because again, I've been in the field in a minute, so I forget how those simple techniques matter. And also with you being a crew chief, is at the end of the day, when something's damaged, it comes down to you, right? What guidance and responsibility did you give guys on the job site? So what are some things you notice now going from driver, recycling specialist, driver to crew chief? What are some of the things that were aha moments you had along the way?
Aha moments.
Yeah.
I really can't say offhand right now. I have to tell you the truth, sir. I really can't say right now. I know. I really can't say right now, to tell you the truth, sir. Like aha moments, as in like, cause like far as with, let's just say with the bucket situation, and
Yeah.
then I had one more situation where I had a bad ground guy and I ended up with a gutter. I don't know if you know what I mean. With
Yep.
that situation where it was just this was our last training day. Like I was just somewhat not the last training day we did ground guide. We was training the new guys on how to ground guide properly and stuff like that. And,
Yep.
that's what I had brought it up to Casey. I'm like, man, like that'd be something that we need to basically like somewhat like teach out the gate before we have a new dude hop in the passenger seat with you feel what I'm saying, with a lead man, and we don't know if they know
Yep.
how to properly ground guide. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's yeah. So yeah, the incident, yeah, you had someone that did improper ground guiding, which caused damage to a house. So actually, we've now brought ground guiding into orientation. So before you even go into your first job, you're taught how to ground guide, because you're right. There's an expectation. Day one, you're the second man in the truck. You're the ground guide for the box truck and for the dump truck. That's it, right? You hop out the truck. You make sure there's no hazards, no people, pets, right? And because 24-foot truck back into a little driveway, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So getting that second set of eyes on the ground, and that's for me. That's going back to the military. The military, we all had ground guides. You watch any other big company, reputable company, you pull up to a driveway. The first thing I do is hop out, get themselves in a position so that they can see what hazards are behind you, so you can confidently back in that driveway. Pull into a lot. That's when incidents happen. Typically, we don't have incidents that happen on the road. Most incidents we have happen in the driveways. Driveways and parking lots is where we've had the most incidences, because people are more confident. They're all of a sudden, they're not in the freeway. It's not like this high stress situation. They get complacent, and then all of a sudden something gets hit. So that was great. I was because of your feedback, telling us about that ground guide situation. This was like 2 weeks ago. We now have implemented where all people going through orientation get ground guide training before they even go to the field the first time.
Like I ain't gonna say, when I first started working here, like and then like we had you definitely had we weed through a lot of guys. You know what I mean? Like we.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I believe only the strongest and the people that was willing to like basically like close their mouths and open their ears to just someone listen and not feel like they know everything. Survive that storm though. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but overall, I can literally say though, like right now, sir, like we do have, you know what I mean? And I say we as in because I feel like I'm a part of this team, I'm a part of this
Yeah.
family, you know what I mean? I'm a part of this brand. You know what I'm saying? Like we do have what's the word? Like a well greased machine.
Yeah. Well, because a year ago we didn't have the orientation was we didn't have the orientation was like show up, I'm gonna put you on the truck, and if you survive after a day, you're hired. Oh yeah, no, it is. We're getting it. Oh yeah, and so that's funny. From your perspective, we got this well-oiled machine, well greased, well oiled. I guess it's supposed
Yeah,
to be.
well
Yeah.
machine.
Me, I'm like, man, we got so much room to grow. We got so, you know what I mean? Like that mountaintop, we ain't even close to it yet. Right.
Mhm.
Like I see so much more. Right. But I appreciate that. Like you are part of the brand. Every person that comes in here and put that Camo Crew shirt on is part of the brand. And that's the other thing. It's like, one of the questions that the traditional question in corporate America that gets asked often is whether or not you're a good fit for our culture. And it's a bullshit question. A better question is, how are you going to impact our culture?
Mhm.
Because everybody that comes in impacts the culture in some way, shape, or form. Right? We have an employee wall. You look at that employee wall, every single person that's on that wall impacts our culture. Like you were talking about your brother Dan, right? Dan is, is a team leader here. He was, the guy that trained you. It's like
Mhm.
how he trained you impacts the culture. How you
Right.
receive the training impacts the culture. How you train the next guy impacts the culture. What we tolerate impacts the culture. Right? It's one thing when you have a standard and then you don't enforce the standard, that impacts the culture.
Right.
Like we say, seatbelts all the time, ground guide all the time. As soon as we don't uphold that standard, guess what? We're saying seatbelts aren't that important. Ground guiding
Mhm.
ain't that important, right? One standard you exceed the standard on, and this is one thing we're known for in our company. We get about 25% of all of our jobs get reviews. Right now, we haven't been hitting the number lately. I don't know if you knew that. Well, you do know that because we talk about it every week, right?
Right.
We're only at 21% last week and the week before, right? So reviews, we had over 1,650 5-star reviews. It's a multi-step process. Someone recently accused us of buying reviews at a networking event. They said some shit like, "Oh, we just whatever paid a third-party company to give us a bunch of reviews." Not the case. So we have a
Right.
multi-step process. First step of the process is that thank you card promo pack. So it's a thank you card, business card, pen, magnet, and having a
Mhm.
conversation with the customer. So now you have exceeded the expectation. We also have a bonus program. It's $1 review, $2 if you get your name on the review, $5 if you get your picture. Now, there's more pictures of you on the Camo Crew Google reviews than anybody else. What has led you to be so successful interacting with our customers in the field?
Right. In the beginning, I was not like that. Like in the beginning, I was not like that. Even like when we have our training days in here, because we practice we practice our promo
Yeah,
uh
role play.
role
Yeah.
play. You feel what I'm saying? Like and like I would like just like I be telling the newer guys like it took a while to just like somewhat like get comfortable with it. But then like as you said though, what you said is literally exactly what changed everything with me. I realize that our customers are allowing us in their peace, their home.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In their place of you know what I'm saying? In their sanctuaries. You know what I mean? Like so with that, it's like that's the ultimate like basically like trust, befriending, you know what I mean, welcome them in. So I just really just like from there I try to cater. You know what I mean? I communicate, you know what I mean? And they might have a Buck shirt on, they might have a Green Bay Packer shirt on, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, just like communicate, you know what I mean? Like uh try to get 5-star service though, you know what I mean? Like talk to them. Let them know we here for them. Let them know that and it's true. It's true. Once you utilize our services one time, I let them know that they family for life. You know what I mean? Like, and we just for real, like, and we, you know what I mean? We lock in, lock in, man.
Well, in a lot of ways, you are the heart and the soul of the service team, right? Like you said, you go to people's houses; it's their home, and what can you do to make them feel at peace? And then also impart that about other guys, where if you treat this like a job, that's all you're going to get out of it. When you
Mhm.
treat this like something that's bigger than a job, like you have a greater impact on the community, then you get that out of it, right? It comes down to right getting out what you put in. And
Right.
so, yeah, you end up with a bunch of pictures, your name mentioned, because from the moment you walk in a house, you're catering to that person, their specific situation. So I've never
Mhm.
even asked you that before. I know you're successful. I figured because you're just a jolly guy, you just, talkative, and yet there's a better way of doing it, because there's some guys that can talk without purpose or without point. So the fact that you have a purpose when you're in people's homes is huge. And you're very real with people, right? You're kind of like a gentle giant, right? You could be, from a distance, you look intimidating. And then once you get to know you, you're cool. So that probably also helps, is the fact that people, that you build that trust with people once you get in their house by, keeping them at ease that, hey, you're here to make their house and their life better, not worse necessarily,
Correct. I do
All right,
want to
go ahead. What you got?
I do got one request for you. I got one request for you too, man. I gotta name that new truck when it comes, man. I gotta name it.
You know what? That's funny. I had just talked to Emmy yesterday. The new truck's coming, and we got a tradition of letting one of our guys name a truck. So Venom, that's how Venom got his name. Romy named Venom. And our truck Aces was named by this woman, Denise, who used to work in operations, and she named Aces after Jerome, because she always told Jerome his name was Ace, because whatever she needed done, he was ace in the hole. Always can make it happen. So yeah, every truck gets named, but basically we let an employee name it. All right, you know what? Since you're the first employee on the podcast, I will recommend to Crum that he let you name the next truck. Because actually, it's either him. You know what? Mike's never named a truck. I don't think Mike's never named a truck. Casey back in the day named Valkyrie. That was way back in the day. So he'd already named a truck. I mean, it's either you or JT. So maybe you can name the box truck and JT can name the new dump truck. Maybe that's how we'll let that go down. All right. That's a good question. But you know what though? That comes back to that culture, right? There's not a single truck. No, there ain't a single truck that we have in our fleet that I named, because that's not. Actually, Mike named Phil. Yeah, Mike named Phil. So Mike did name a truck.
He named Phil, huh?
Yeah. So we bought that. So that was Phil's junk removal down in Atlanta. This guy's Phil's handyman service started a junk removal division, and then he got out of it. And so I seen the truck up on Facebook, and I decided to buy it last February, and it was wrapped yellow and was called Phil. So for like a month before we wrapped it, we had a yellow truck that said Phil's junk removal. We were banging jobs with it, and we kept calling it Phil. And then we wrapped it, and we're like, what do we call it? We're like, Phil. It's already been Phil. Why are we changing? So that's how Phil got his name. That's it. There ain't nothing else. Snowflake was a big white box truck, and at the time, our operations person, Karen, she was military, and she thought all the guys were soft as shit. So she called them snowflakes. So then we got that truck, she called it Snowflake. So that's it. So yeah, there's a story behind every name. There's no two match each other. It's like whoever wanted to call, whoever we let name it. So all right, I'll let you. I didn't say that. I will put the name. I'll put your name in the hat for Crum to let you name the next truck. Because I'm thinking about like seniority wise, not even seniority, but like impact wise. I don't give a shit about seniority. Who's making the best impact on our organization right now? Obviously, you're making a huge impact. That's why we had you here on the show. Let's get to the big finish. We got started a little late today. I know you want to get to the park with your kids. I got a networking event I'm going to get to. What else? What you got? What's your top takeaway? Not what you got. Yeah. What's your top takeaway from today's show or from working here at Camo Crew?
My top takeaway.
Yep.
I really think I'm gonna say with just top takeaway with working with Camo Crew. And it's just really just like more so just like, man, it's greater days. You know what I mean? Especially like for a fact, when I first came walking through the door, and all the stuff that I faced, all the stuff that I got past. You know what I mean? And it's like I've been like with this company, I done got past something that I'd say probably like 95% of the population don't get past. You know what I'm saying? Like with this company, I done put something behind me. I done weathered the storm with, and it's just like I have to just say, really, like, man, there are greater days. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you got like especially when you got just like when you believe yourself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? When your employers, you know what I mean, or when you with a good team of guys, you know what I mean, that's somewhat that we don't just talk, we talk from the heart, we real, you feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it just every time I come in here, that's what I think about though. You feel what I'm saying? Like just make sure like what I conquered, you know what I mean? Like it's the future. The future, man.
No, that's it. You're right. It's not where you've been, is where you're going, and who you take along with you on that journey to get you where you're going. And so, yeah, it's been a year you've been here. We've been through some shit together here at the company. We've been through some stuff outside of the company, our personal lives that we were able to come together and push each other as men and as fathers and as business leaders. So my top takeaway is a lot of times I get focused on the external. I get focused on what's next, my consulting business, the next book I'm writing. Get focused on the Trash Talk Business podcast and other guests and what I can learn to build the audience and build value to the audience of who I can interview. And so my top takeaway is remembering that we got some great people right here in this building. We got some great perspectives in this building. A lot of things you brought up today is things I forgot about, right? Little things like when you walk into someone's house, cater to them, right? Do what you can so that they're comfortable with you in their home as much as you're comfortable in their home. And those are some best practices. And I want to continue to encourage you to push yourself and the team, because you're absolutely right. You started taking on leadership responsibilities and holding guys accountable before you got the job title. So now what can you continue to do to take on more accountability and responsibility before you get the title? So I appreciate that. I appreciate having you here on the show. I know it's between you and JT who's going to come on the show first. You obviously beat him back to the shop, so you were on the show. So we'll have JT on in a couple of weeks. And as we continue to build out the Camo Crew, the Trash Talk Business Podcast, I'm going to have more and more guys that are here at Camo Crew Responsible Junk Removal come on the show to talk about how we do things different within the four walls of this building to add value to the listeners, in your junk removal businesses across the country. Next week, we got another junk removal company coming on, Jamie from Moving Forward Foreclosure Cleanouts. She's been in the business since 2018, so she's been in business pre-pandemic. She knows what she's doing. She's operating there out of Kentucky. It also looks like Arizona. I'm very confused. She's somewhere either Kentucky or Arizona. I've seen both on here. So looking forward to having her on the podcast, especially talk about those foreclosure cleanouts, because a lot of times there's junk removal companies that either focus on, nothing but foreclosures, and some that never do foreclosures. We tend to do less and less foreclosures. So I'm really interested in hearing what she's doing to focus her entire business on the foreclosure game. Because one nice thing about the economy is when it's going well or when it's, doing poor, there's going to be foreclosures. There's going to be evictions. That's the natural ebbs and flows of the business. So really looking forward to having her on the show. I know nothing else about her, unlike Regis, where, I'm about to go downstairs and say what's up to him after this. So thank you, Regis, for coming on the podcast. Taylor, our producer, thank you. All our guests, thank you for tuning in this week. If you want to be a guest on the Trash Talk Business Podcast, go to trashtalkbusinesspodcast.com, apply to be on the guest. And if there's someone you want on the show, hit us up, let us know who they are, make an introduction. We'd love to get them on the show. We are booking into April and May already for guests here on the show. As always, I'm Andy Weins. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Tap subscribe or follow to get the latest episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us a review and tell a friend to listen. To learn more, visit trashtalkbusinesspodcast.com. Bye now.